going on? This is Jamie Supertramp, and this is a travel update from my Germany semester abroad vlog. Welcome. Hey, so this has been a pretty cool weekend. Me and some UMass people, we got together and we met up in the Black Forest for a weekend of, there was some orientation stuff we had to do, but we also got to go explore in the Black Forest, which is beautiful. I've spent my fair share of time up in beautiful mountains, and these ones are no different. Or, well, they're just as beautiful, maybe more. But what made them so interesting is these aren't snow-topped mountains. They're just like cow farms as far as the eye can see. Because apparently on a tour, we learned that you can't grow veggies up there. On the bus ride up, cows blocked the way. So, and by the way, I've changed my view on selfies completely. Like a lot of people used to complain about selfies, but what I really think was going on is they wanted a pat on the back for using a modern term. Want to take a selfie? Can you take a selfie of us? They say to the waiter, but what you really meant is, can you take a photo of us? A photograph or a picture? Well, yeah, I took a selfie with cows while on the train. Maybe I'll insert a picture here. But it was just really funny to have, it's just so typical of the German mountain town. We were outside of Freiburg, which is pretty close to the French border. My phone kept thinking I was in France when I'm not. But anyhow, so yeah, we're right up against France in the Black Forest. And yeah, cows blocked the way. Typical. It was really cool to meet up with a bunch of the UMass people. There were a few that I had previous, who I knew. One is actually my buddy he kind of talked to me. He's a former GCC alumni as well. And he's the one who really talked to me and let me know that this whole Baden-Württemberg exchange was even an option. Because when I heard people doing a semester abroad, I thought, oh, that's some spoiled kid thing to do. And we are spoiled, absolutely. But the money is not coming from our parents. Some of it's coming from Germany. Some of it's coming from the U.S. But when you're a college student who isn't rich, they find a way. But you got to kind of hustle to find it. And I'm just happy that this friend talked me into it. And it was a really good weekend. I brought Monopoly Deal, and I got a bunch of people addicted to it. And then it turned out the advisor who was hosting the event, she had a deck of Monopoly Deal too. So we ended up with 2 tables going. And I was proud of my teaching abilities because I was able to get 4 people taught how to play the game all in one go. By the second game, they were worthy adversaries. So that's what I like. Oh, these glasses, are they fake? No, these are real glasses, and they're ridiculously huge because I want to see as much as I can. I'm basically a tourist, so all I have to do here is to look at things. But I'll take them off. They make you uncomfortable. So going to the eye doctor in Germany is nothing really different than it is anywhere else. You go there, they give you a free exam, they try to sell you the glasses. By the way, German insurance, which people have said is so great, I'm still yet to find out because I've been going to see the doctor just for little things, thinking I had insurance, but I don't. So we're going to see how that goes. But even so, a regular doctor's office visit out of pocket was 30 euros, which is a lot cheaper than one would be back at home. But insurance doesn't cover glasses anyway. So I just paid for the glasses, and I was, I'm just happy to be able to see, because I think my teacher in the language course, he thinks I think it's a joke, because a lot of the times he calls on me and I don't know what's going on. But 1, his handwriting is not readable, even if I did have glasses, and 2, it's definitely not readable without glasses. But his handwriting is, it's not, it makes sense to him, if he takes notes, he'll be fine. How am I trashing my teacher? Jesus. So it was a beautiful trip, and then we went for this hike to this like it was this I don't know 500-year-old farmhouse that was made into a museum. They just have open flames inside. They actively chose not to have a chimney because they're like, oh, if we let the smoke circulate through the house, it will cure the wood against invasive beetles. So that was their philosophy, and they say it doesn't hurt the lungs. I don't know about that. I guarantee it's better not to have smoke in your house. You know, I'll put it that way. Let me take a drink of this. Oh, have you seen this yet? I still don't pronounce it right. It's Apfelschorle or Schlor, but it's like apple juice soda. And it actually is mostly fruit too. So imagine fruit juice, like juicy juice, but with actual fruit and bubbles. It's pretty good. This is one of my favorites. They have it at Aldi back in the US, but here, this drink, 25-cent deposit for plastic bottles, for one-way bottles they call them, because they actually reuse some of the other bottles. Like the beer bottles they reuse, and that's why there's only an 8-cent deposit as opposed to 25 cents. And oh yeah, 60% juice, not bad for a soda beverage that is just bubbling on the mouth. Yeah, so the bottles that they do reuse only have an 8-cent deposit. But I think it's a great thing because people are going to actually recycle these. But what's funny is these are so cheap that the deposit ends up costing more than the beverage itself. So it's a great reason to recycle. What else is there to say about this trip? You know, it was just, I think, 9 UMass students, and it was just a whole bunch of fun. We were playing Frisbee, and it was a hostel that we were at, but hostel means different things to different people. And this hostel was beautiful. I was expecting it to be a little bit scummy, like, you know, we'd be there with some 30-something-year-olds hitting on the younger girl, you know, but we had the whole place to ourselves. And I used to be in the Cub Scouts back in the day, and it felt like being on a Cub Scout camping trip, the way you just get to play around the whole time. Aside from like the few like college related meetings that we had where we're just picking out courses. And by the way, I'm so thankful to my advisor because she helped me pick out a course that is going to satisfy my requirements and be of actual interest to me. So I'm excited for that. Did you see this haircut already? Yep. When you get a haircut in Germany, you walk away looking like a German. But I'm pumped because I think this is going to make me better at soccer, which I'm actually itching to play right now. So I'm, going to record a little bit more of this and get out there. So this whole weekend, my very dear friend Sunhild was with me. She's from Berlin. This is actually her old soccer shirt. I just needed t-shirts, but she's been my friend for like 5 years, and she's actually the one who got me into soccer, and it was so fun because she brought her soccer shoes when she came to visit. So she came with us for this whole thing in the Black Forest, and it was kind of an on-the-fly decision because I had plans with her before I was reminded of this mandatory UMass reunion, and they let her come with, and that was really cool. So she was with us, playing Frisbee, and she even sat in for some of the academic lectures, and a lot of it is just orientations to German culture, but a lot of it is stuff we've already been oriented on, like we're just talking about, the cars are smaller, the groceries are cheaper, and then we were talking about transportation, and everyone who spent some time here in the last few years knows that trains should be avoided. And the only reason why is because their price is not competitive at all. Planes are really, really cheap, and there's just bus service everywhere. There's this green bus called Flixbus, And picture like a really fancy Peter Pan bus, and you can get from anywhere to anywhere else in Germany for less than 20 euros with a bunch of baggage. Whereas the airplanes, they make you pack it down to a backpack about that size. So, so the bus service is really good. So we like the buses. And someone in the group was complaining about trains. They're like, "Yeah, the trains are late all the time anyway." And then the chief advisor from back at UMass, she came for this trip from Amherst. Um, she's like, "Well, actually, the reason why the trains are late is because people commit suicide by jumping in front of them. It actually happens quite frequently." And the room just goes silent. Then the other advisor, she just clicks to the next slide and she's like, "Cars in Germany are quite small." And just the changing of gears from going to people jumping in front of trains to we have small cars here. I don't know what it was, but it just tickled me and I was laughing hysterically, uncontrollably for the rest of the lecture or the rest of the slideshow. And I was like, I was trying to cover up my face, covering my tears, but I'm just silently laughing, and everyone sees, and I'm laughing at myself for being so out of control. But that's just a good example of the whole time there. It was just all fun and games.